Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ruth. If you're wondering how I achieved this kimono dress, then this tutorial is for you. Stay tuned. Materials I'll be needing for my tutorial today is my African print. I have 3 yards of this, my tape rule, my scissors, and of course my chalk. We need that, right? So let's head over and draft. The gown length I'll be making use of is 42, my hips of 45. So I'll be imputing my shoulder measurements now because the fabric is folded into 2, so I'll be taking my measurements now. My shoulder is 14 divided by 2 will give me 7, so I'll just go ahead and mark my 7 inches mark. Now because it's a cut together sleeve, I'll be imputing my sleeve measurement as well. So from that 7 inches mark, I'll impute my sleeve length. I'm making use of 13 inches for my sleeve length, so I'll impute that as well. Now from that 13 inches mark you made, you want to measure the length of your sleeve. That's how wide you want yours to be, depending on what you are making. But for me, I want mine to be as wide as 26 inches. That dividing this to 2 will be 13, right? So I imputed 13. Now that upper part where you measure from your nape to where your shoulder is, and from your shoulder to where your nape measurement sleeve length is, you want to come down by 1 inch. Then you'll be connecting now from that your 7 inches mark where your sleeve length is going to end. So you want to go ahead now and connect from your shoulder to the length of your sleeve. So now I'll be imputing my measurements. From my shoulder, I'll measure to my hip line. You can get your hip line by measuring from your shoulder to where your hips, the highest point of your hips. So mine is 23. At that 23 inches mark as well, I'll be imputing 1/4 of my hips measurements. My hips is 45 divided by 4 will be giving me 12.25. Then I usually like adding allowance of 2.5 for ease, then 1/2 inch for sewing allowance. So that means I'm adding 3 inches to the 1/4 of my hips. I'll impute this same measurement at the hem as well. Because it's a kaftan dress and it's a free dress, you don't need it to be fitted at the hemline like a pencil skirt. So you impute the same measurement you got at your hips, impute it at the hem of the gown. Then you connect from your hips to the hem of your gown. Now remember that we came back from our shoulder to 13 inches mark for our sleeve. So from that 13 inches mark as well, you want to impute that same measurement you got. Remember, it's a free dress, so you don't need the bust, the waist. You only need your hips, which is the largest part of your measurement as it's wear. So you want to connect. Now, when you connect from that your cut together sleeve to the 13 inches mark, it's going to be looking like a block like this, like a straight mark. So you want to make a curve so it does not look too sharp, because once you are done sewing, that part won't rest properly on you. You want to make it a curve mark like you see me do. Now go ahead now and cut out. So once you're done cutting out the front, you want to fold your fabric again into 2. Then place the front on a new fabric that you folded into 2 and cut out for the back as well. We've been cutting out the neckline we need for this kaftan dress. So for the back, I'm making the width 5 inches and I made the depth 2 inches. For the front, I'm going to be making it V neckline, so it's going to be as low as 7 inches. Of course, the neck width remains the same, 5 inches. You want to make sure that the neck width you'll be using is wide enough for your head to pass through conveniently. Remember, there's no zipper for this style, and there's no button as well. So you want to make sure that the neckline you'll be using is wide enough for your head to pass through. So you just want to cut out the back firstly, and as well go ahead and cut out for the front. We'll be cutting the facing we need for the back. The front, we don't need a facing for it because we'll be using a stripe to turn it out. Now for the back, you want to fold any leftover fabric you have from cutting your material, your dress, into two. Then place the main dress as well, the back, on the remaining fabric. Place it like you see me do, like this. Make sure it's well folded, and you place this on it. Then you just cut out the neckline alone. For the length I use for the facing, I made use of just 5 inches. You can always hem and tack it down as well, so it does not pop out. So now this is how you sew. You place the right side of your facing towards the right side of your fabric. Then you can pin this down and go ahead to your sewing machine and sew down that neckline. Now this is what I have once I was done. You want to also go ahead and fold the down parts of your facing as well to have a neat finish. Turn this out like this. Head ahead to your ironing table and iron. Now for the front, I iron the middle. I place the fabric folded and I iron the middle because I will be needing the crease line for the design we are making. Now let's go ahead first and make the little stripe for the V-neck line. Now to place your stripe, you want to cut the stripe of at least 3 inches in width. Then for the length, you want to measure the length of your V-neck line. Then you can add like 2 inches to it. Remember, we are placing it on a bias fold, on a bias form. So by the time you are placing, you want to make sure at the upper part of your neckline that is a little bit above. So once you are done, it will fit perfectly well. Now to join your stripe to the front, you want to place the stripe, the right side of the stripe facing the wrong side of your fabric. Now this is what you have once you're done. Place it neatly like this. I actually added the interface for stability because I was working with a fabric which can be funny at times. That's crepe. So I used the interface for stability. Now this is what I have once I was done. I just turned it out. Remember, we placed it at the wrong side. So once you are done, you want to turn it out. Iron the neckline as well for it to sleep properly. Then the remaining parts, you also want to tuck it in by 1/2 inch like you see me do. Head over to your sewing machine and sew. Pin this down firstly to help you. Now once you're done, remember that crease line we made? I also made the crease line, exact crease line as well, with this rectangular black fabric. I folded it into 2 and ironed to get my crease line. Now I'll be using it to cover up that little stripe where it's ended, and as well I'll be using it as a design too as well. So you want to go ahead and fold it by 1/2 inch in all round like you see me do. So you can pin this down to help you to achieve a neater look. Now this is what I have once I was done. I just sewed it round to achieve a cleaner look. And now we're done with the neckline. You see, this outfit is very easy to make. Now you will be joining the right side of your fabric facing the right side of your front facing the right side of your back. I'll start by joining the shoulder. Now this is this is one method to join your shoulder. You can just place the right side facing the right side of your front facing the right side of your back and just join. Or you can sandwich the right side of your dress in between the facing for the back and the dress itself. What I mean is that you just join it like this, the right side of the front facing the wrong side of the back, or you can sandwich it. I later did that sandwiching method so that I'll have a neat finishing. By the time you're looking at the shoulder parts, you won't be seeing my sewing allowance. So that's just the beauty of it. Now for the sleeve, depending on the sewing allowance you added for the sleeve turning, I added 2 inches for my sleeve turning. So I folded it in by 2 inches. Then you want to also go ahead as well. Sorry, I folded it in by 1.5, yes. So you want to fold it in by 1.5, then you use 1/2 inch to sew it down like you see me do. Just turn it in by 1/2 inch. So by the time you are left at the upper part, you are having 1 inch left, but you are folding it in by 1.5 first, then folding it again by 1/2 inch. Now we are just joining our outfit here. Just sew it down by 1/2 inch or whatever sewing allowance you added to yours. So you also want to place the right side of the front facing the right side of the back. Then you sew down by 1/2 inch, starting from the sleeve down to the hem of your dress. Repeat the same process at the other side as well. Once you're done, you want to sew down the hem of your gown. Remember, we added just 1 inch at the hem. So whatever you added as the sleeve sewing allowance for your hem, that's what you should ensure you use, so that once you're done, the length of your gown still remains intact. So I added 1 inch for joining. That was what I did. I folded it by 1 inch. Now I'll be fixing our pocket here. To fix your pocket, you want to come down from your shoulder to 16 inches mark for a tall person. For not so tall, you can use 15 inches. Now from that 16 inches mark, you want to come down by 6 inches. That 6 inches will be our pocket opening. Now this is what you need, because from that 6 inches mark, your 5 hands can walk into your pocket freely. Now from that you'll be sewing down from your shoulder to that 16 inches mark and leave the space for your pocket opening. Now to cut our pockets, you want to fold your fabric into 2. Then the width of your pocket shouldn't be anything higher than 8 inches. Then for the length, I usually use 13. Now don't make it too deep, so that once you are trying to reach out for objects in your pocket, it does not look too deep. Now you want to mark that 8 inches mark for the width to come down by 6.5. Now from that 5 markings you did, just connect it like you see me do. Then you can go ahead and cut out what you have. Now this is all you need to cut your pocket: the length of 13 inches and the width of 8 inches. I'll go ahead now and cut this out for one of the side of the dress. Fold my fabric again into 2, then cut out for the other side as well. Now this is how to sew your pockets. You want to fold your pocket into 2. With the chockings I did, I'll be sewing down by 1/2 inch. Then before I get to the end, I'm going to be leaving an 1/2 inch opening. From that 1/2 inch mark I made as well, I came down by 6 inches. Then from that 6 inches, I'll go ahead and sew down again by 1/2 inch. Now to fix your pocket, after doing that, you remember we came down from our shoulder to 16 inches. You want to open from that 16 inches to the 6 inches mark we made. Now you'll be sewing down your pockets by 1/2 inch. Remember, our sewing allowance is just 1/2 inch. So you open up. You can also chalk that part where you start sewing your pocket and where your pocket should end. This will help you. Now you want to go ahead and pin this down by 1/2 inch. The 1/2 inch mark we made. Pin it down so you can know where to stop. If this tutorial video has been of help to you and you found this valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you. So now we're turning it over at the other side as well to fix it. You're fixing the right side of your fabric, facing the right side of your dress, facing the right side of the pocket. And that's all you need to fix your pocket. You also want to repeat the same method at the other side of your gown, and your dress is ready. Now this is the finished look. I hope you like what you see. Kindly subscribe, turn on the post notification bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video.